All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our weekly Strategic Secrets slash Monetize Your Skills Academy training for all of our members, followers, etc. We want to thank you for taking time out of your weekly schedule to join us here for another awesome training. Now, again, if this is your first time, we always invite you to make sure you follow us at strategicsecrets.com. You can find us at Facebook slash Strategic Secrets as well as on YouTube. So every single week we come on here and we share different strategies to help several people. We like to help professionals, entrepreneurs, ministry leaders, and success minded individuals. And so my name is Chance. Let me bring up a slide here, just walk you through a few things of what you will discover as we go through these trainings. So my name is Chance, U.S. Navy veteran. I'm a best-selling author of several books, over 13 books and counting, because there are more in the works. And so we've been privileged with my wife and to be able to travel around the world and to be able to do lots of different ministry and business endeavors. And so that's one of the things that we like to do and share with other people. Again, if this is something that resonates with you, you're in the right place. If not, then hey, you're going to learn something still, because we believe that you can take spiritual strategies and principles and apply them to any area of your life. So again, welcome to you, welcome to your family, welcome to anyone who has questions. Also, we are here every single week. Now, we do several things. Of course, we are here every Thursday, but sometimes we go live on Facebook on the weekends, etc. And if you want to follow me for church or strictly spiritual, that's all good as well. Okay, you can keep following us there as well. If you have not signed up to our newsletter or any of our weekly trainings, please make sure you go to strategicsecrets.com, enter your name and email, and you will be able to get some information. Now, if you want to be able to ask me any question or to receive training, coaching, personalized help with your own online ventures or endeavors, you can send me a message, strategicsecrets@gmail.com or chance@strategicsecrets.com. Either one of those, it will reach to me. So we're going to get into it for today. We're going to learn quite a bit. So I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page here. So let's introduce, what are you going to learn today? Today, you're going to learn the key frameworks for success. Key framework for success. We're going to break this down. One of the things that I have found, especially as you accelerate in life, go to different levels, you're going to realize you need some quick strategies and principles to guide your actions, activities, things you do, and also things that you do not do. So I'm going to share with you a few of those to kind of jog your mind or your memory as to what you can do, or maybe you'll be doing some of these, but you might not have, actually put it in there. And I think when you see this as well, you're going to see, oh, that's also how he teaches, because many of our books, our online courses, definitely based on frameworks. Framework is a system or strategy that can get you from point A to point B. And it helps you again to win. If you want to win in your life, especially as you advance, that could be whether it's in age, you want to get wiser, do things smarter, not harder necessarily. Again, any area of your life that you want to be a winner and consistently win, then you need to use principles, strategies, precepts that are proven to work. Okay, and so what is a framework? Well, in its simplest definition, it's a basic conceptual structure of ideas, or a order, the order of doing things, an organizational strategy. I like to say it this way: a framework is a strategic system of accomplishing or doing something. How do you get from point A to point B in the best way or in the most successful way? Some people might be the easiest way, but easiest is not necessarily always the hardest way. But then again, we don't want to do it hard just for the sake of being hard. So that's what a framework is truly all about. So again, I'm going to break down these to you. So let's say, for example, if you're in Monetize Your Skills Academy, right, we have a 7-step framework for taking your education, expertise, and experiences from nothing to be able to create something, to get your product, program, or services online. If you are in in any of our business blueprint, book to business blueprint, again, that's also a 7-step framework in two separate I guess 2 separate steps or major steps, but they are broken down in 7 different key steps that you got to take. If you put it like this on 2 arms, right? So it's going to be 4 and 3, right? So 2 different structure, but nonetheless, they are still under one umbrella. So let's say, for example, again, strategic secrets, you want to be able to monetize your skills. So we say, here you go. You want to define your gifts and call in your community. You want to design a product, program, or service that meets your clientele. You want to be able to market effectively and so forth and whatnot. So, and then we kind of use all these, and we get that too from preaching, right? Preachers do a lot of that, alliterations. So I want you to know that if you follow this, it doesn't always have to be in an acronym per se. I like to have them in an acronym sometimes, or all, the letters, the first word of each of the letter begin with the same, right? So let's say again, like you said, design, define, and, distribute, for example. And then, for example, with the book to business one, the first four steps begin with the same letter, and the last 3 steps begins with another letter. So those are some of the ways, however it fits into your mind, easy, and gets over to the people is what you want to do. Then for marketing, so those are the 3 big, I guess, thing that we do here at Strategic Secrets. We help people bring their courses, products, and services to life online. We help people publish books, and then we are able to help them market. Now with marketing, I use a simple acronym again. That one is based on, was it 5-step? Yes, SNIPER, right? So we think of a sniper versus a mad gunman who just wastes bullets and shoot and hope something hits. Whereas we focus more laser with SNIPER, and that SNIPER stands for, right? It has 5 letters. So the S stands for something, NIPER. So we have each of those standing for something. And so that helps us to now take a client to say, okay, if we're going to market for you, this is what we want to do. S, this is what we want to do. N, etc., etc. So let's share with you a few of these on how they work in your life. Now, again, just this past week, I was in the beginning of the week, I was actually coaching someone on this, right? So I was coaching someone, and they were asking, for some advice and so forth and whatnot. And so I'm like, well, let me give you the way I personally do it. I try to do it my best of my ability. This is how I kind of govern my life, right? Because you can't learn everything. And so therefore I have to say, in every area of my life, what has proven to be a successful method, principle, strategy, law that I can apply consistently to achieve success in that area, right? And you can have multiple, but generally I have one overarching, and sometimes we use at least 3, but no more than 3. I don't like to do more than 3, definitely. So let's look at it, right? So you want to need, again, think of frameworks as any kind of experience, knowledge, competence, skills, training that can help you to grow and help you to be able to achieve greatness. Again, it does not matter what area of your life, that you are looking at or wanting to work, wanting to improve. You're going to need strategic secrets, skills, competencies, trainings, knowledge. That's why we are here every week teaching as well. So we don't just want you to learn one time and then, hey, you know what? We want you to consistently keep learning. So let's look at some physical, mental, and emotional framework. If you want to be healthy, right? Because again, people try this, they try that, they're all over the place, right? And if it's not something that you can easily remember or model over time, make it part of your life, then you're going to struggle. So for me, I have found 2 big principles or strategies, frameworks, that's what we're talking about, to help me to try to stay grounded physically, mentally, and emotionally. Okay, now let's look at them. First one is New Start. This is an acronym, New Start, right? Some folks call it the 8 laws of health. Some people go as far as 10, etc. But generally, there are 8 to 10 overall laws of health. And if we follow these things, then we can be successful. So nutrition, the N in the New Start acronym is nutrition. E is exercise. W, water. S is sunshine. T is for temperance. A is for air, rest, R, and T, the last T, is trust in God, right? So when I look at that, that is something that I've known for many years, and that is something we keep practicing. But all I know is this: it doesn't matter what I try to do in life, no matter what book you read, they all talk about one of these systems. And when I look at this, it doesn't cost money, it doesn't cost a whole arm and a leg. It is a basic fundamental strategy that if anyone focuses his or her life faithfully applying these particular principles, you cannot help but be healthy, right? So again, you nutrition, when you talk about nutrition, is right, it's about how to eat. I don't follow diet plans, right? So I don't have need to diet, not because I'm generally skinny, but because I just know that if you eat superfoods, for example, you add a lot of fruits, grains, vegetables, nuts to your diet, you're going to be generally healthy. You at least you're not going to be overweight and different things like that. So I just keep it that simple. So I don't have to figure out this diet, Atkins diet, keto diet, this and all of these things. No, I simply make sure that I always have some things to eat when it has to be about fruits. I love pretty much, and I thank God that I'm not allergic, as far as I know, to any type of fruits, etc. Right? So vegetables, fruits, grains, nuts, all forms of nuts, and then you have the berries, all the stuff that people call superfoods, right? So they're super because they provide you that extra boost and not all the processed food and junk food and stuff like that. So that's a basic framework. If you do that, trust me, you're going to generally have good weight, and you're definitely going to be having low cholesterol. Now, exercise, that's one of my struggles, I must admit, as far as consistency. But exercise, again, is a great medicine. So there's no doctor who will never say you shouldn't exercise. Even when you are sick as can be, any form of exercise that you can do is helpful. So again, just get consistent exercise. Water, every single day you drink enough water. It is recommended in the morning, especially, that you drink at least a cup or two of water to start your day off right. But based on your body size, etc., your body makeup, how active you are, you generally want to get between about 8 glasses a day, roughly. Then sunshine, right? You get natural vitamin D. It's amazing, especially in the West here. Many people are actually vitamin D deficient. And so even for myself, for a while, I had to supplement greatly, because again, most of our work is indoors. But you don't have to be under that type of supplementation all the time if you would just simply go out and get natural sunlight, right? So you get 15 to 30 minutes a day. Generally, you will have good sunshine. But sunshine is for all kind of stuff. It lift your moods. It definitely great for vitamin D, etc., and so many other benefits. So temperance is all about being balanced. Temperance is all about is not going overboard, right? So moderately using things. And air, you want fresh air every day. So that's another powerful reason why we should be outside. But again, our jobs and most of our life are built indoors. So that's a problem. Then adequate rest, something I'm still working on. You want to rest your body. You want to rest your body. You want to take, 7 to 8 hours sleep worth of sleep a night. Younger children need more, but generally you want to rest your body once a week. That's why it is also said that generally people who are faith-based and attend church regularly are generally healthier than the rest of the community, rest of the world. So that's another benefit. You want to have weekly rest, you want to have daily, nightly rest, and yearly, in the sense of taking, 2, 3, 4, however, I'm just saying take vacation time. Okay. So that's the framework when I look at it. Another one that I love that is similar to this is called creation health. So we're still on the health. Creation health, these are the principles. And you can go to creationhealth.com and learn more about this. And we did this a few years ago at our church. But it's a choice, you see, our rest, environment. So I'm not going to repeat some of what we mentioned in New Start because they overlap. But here, when we talk about environment now, is making sure your environment is helpful and lift your mood and spirit. Like that's why for me, I remember this made sense to me. I never even thought of it, right? But I remember when I was in the military and stationed in Puerto Rico, the apartment I lived in, man, it was all the walls were painted green. Okay, just giving you an example. And for some reason, I didn't catch it, but over time, Once I came home, because and it was dark green too, right? It was not no neon or like this green that's E here. It was a very dark green. But I noticed after a while I was getting low in spirit, tired. When I'm in there, you want to sleep, you want to relax all the time, and so my mood would actually sink. And so, as I was beginning to learn more about health and the role of your environment and so forth, now I changed. I actually went and got, like a townhouse kind of a thing, and everything was bright, white. The whole thing was white, upstairs, downstairs, mirrors everywhere, and my whole outlook on life was better. I was more energetic. I was more consistent, and I just felt way, way better. That's the power of environment. So if you like plants, if you like whatever you like to see, put up motivational things around you in your environment that inspires you. So for me, I don't like dark colors when it comes to the environment. I like, except if you're walking out in nature with all the greens, that's good. But for me, in a house, I like mainly white, yellow, cream, those type of colors, because they kind of lift my mood and keep me excited. And so clutter, my office sometimes is in a clutter, but I do know that I don't like clutter at all. So, but when things are not cluttered around me, I think clearer and I am more productive as well. So that's what we talk about. Activity is the same as exercise. Trust in God, we talk about that. Interpersonal relationship, this is a biggie. This is a biggie, right? So the social element is very important. And then you have outlook, your mindset, the way you think, and then nutrition, you go back there. So you see how that helps you right there. So I don't need to read 15 books on health. If I follow this principle for the rest of my life and I'm genuinely faithful and get better at it, then guess what? I will be healthy overall. And so, of course, there's always some tune-ups. And here's another good thing. It's easy to know where I am at or why I'm having certain health issues, because I can analyze myself along this spectrum. And then I can say, because I am not, for example, having enough adequate rest, this is what's happening. Because I've not been managing my outlook positively, I've been dealing with a lot of toxic, negative people, etc. And that has kind of, created some reactions in your body. So that's one of the things there. Because generally, when I go to the doctor, I mean, hardly, they always say all your vital signs is good. I mean, your body is really like a 16-year-old. So I know when I do have any kind of health episode, it is generally because of two things. And I'm letting you know so you can kind of see for yourself. So I know my two Achilles heel when it comes to both of these principles of these frameworks rather, is getting enough rest and also consistency in exercise. So all the other areas, I have no problem with diet. I have no problem with, choice and all of these different things. But those are the two that I struggle forward with. Okay. So that's why I know when I am down or when I have some kind of issue, it is generally because of those two areas. Okay. So let's look at some financial frameworks now. So you want to ask yourself, let's go back to the health framework. You want to ask yourself, what health framework can I put in place to help myself? Now, if that's a diet program, then that's fine. But again, you don't want to just have the diet program. You want to have teaching, philosophy, of an understanding of how it works and why it works. Okay, because diets are like fads, right? They come, they go, But for example, with this, that doesn't matter what is happening in the world, because these principles have been around for since the beginning of time, really and truly. Right, in the garden, that's what God, for example, man's diet consisted of fruit, grapes, nuts, and vegetables, etc. in the garden, right? So these things are eternal. So that's why I don't worry about fads, and that's why I don't have to stress, which is one less thing I got to worry about when it comes to eating and being on this diet. Am I going to be this? And then all of a sudden you keep trying. I don't have to do all of that, and I do find peace. So I enjoy my food. I don't have to sit down and even pick out and as far as what to eat, what not to eat, counting calories and all of this. I don't do any of that. I don't find a need to. Why? Because I know that whatever I put before me to eat is generally healthy. So I don't have to think about it. And so that gives me peace of mind as well. Because the good book, Solomon says, in the book of Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, he has a lot to do about talking about food. Food is good medicine, right? And having good, when you put whatever you put before your mouth, you want to be happy generally. Okay, so let's go to financial real quick. So financial frameworks, there are several, and so I'm not going to put up the big outline of each of these because these are based on other people's works, of course, but nonetheless, you will see how they look here. So let's put three of them together here. So three frameworks that I currently use and have used are these three right here. Number one is the pill method by Don Daniel. Don Daniel, I believe, is one of the foremost leader when it comes to debt elimination and wealth building. So I have a book here of his right here. This is his book, The Pill Method. So Don Daniel is my good friend, and so he's actually, well, for lack of a better word, pretty much our financial advisor. And we are set up on his system, and we follow his system diligently. We use his software and everything like that. But Pill Method, what does this stand for? So again, there you go. The framework must be one that you can know and espouse, right? You don't have to, because it's so part of you. So that's what I'm saying. I know his system. I understand his system. So again, P is just four steps, right? So P is prepayment of principal, isolation of interest, that's the L, leverage and liquidity. Those four strategies can not only help you eliminate all of your debt in the shortest amount of time possible. Matter of fact, according to his program, no one, no matter how big your debt is, provided you still maintain the same current level of income, no one should be in debt for more than 7 to 8 years, right? No one. And so that's a powerful thing. Then Dave Ramsey's 7 Baby Steps is another. Matter of fact, before that, that's what I was actually on for many years, right? And so I've adjusted myself. And so now I actually use Don's method more than I use Dave Ramsey. But then the basic fundamentals are there, and I still follow Dave to some degree because, you've learned the baby steps and I know them. But I don't follow it as religiously as I used to, because for 7 years, I follow that thing like a T. But then when I realized that it is not the strategy for everyone, and the demographics that generally follow him are not the average Joe and Jane. So again, though, but I still highly recommend it because it works for most people who are basically trying to get out of debt. But wealth is more than simply getting out of debt. So that will be the order. Right here is the order in which I would use these. Matter of fact, actually, I would put baby steps on the bottom. But so you guys know that you can just type in Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps. I don't want to go through them there, but again, the basic foundation, you start by saving $1,000, and then you start increasing that to 3 months, then 6 months, and then a year. You pay off all your basic consumer debts like credit cards and so forth, or car loans, etc. And then you start investing 15% of your income until retirement, etc. You pay off your house mortgage, you give away at the end and whatnot. So there you go. But alpha investment strategy is one that I learned not too long ago. But I am subscribed to. This is Charles Mizrahi. I definitely recommend his investment strategies and programs, and so I am a subscriber of one of these, I must say. Again, but it's perfect because he has three simple strategies that he used to before he invests in any company. Doesn't matter what it is. He always takes a very thorough detail. It's not emotional. It's not based on the hype of the market and et cetera, et cetera. He gives you a really thorough breakdown of what you invested in. So he makes recommendation. Here are the stocks that we recommend based on the homework that we've done. You get a printout. You get if you're online, well, you get your PDF and all the reason why you should buy this stock and all the homework, all the details. So it's not, again, emotional thing. So I love it, again, because he looks at just 3 key components of any business. And once those 3 components are there, it is a solid investment. And why? Because he has the track record. Okay. Most of his investment that he recommends does triple digits over time when it comes to return on investment. So over 100+%. And so you can't beat that, right? That is thorough work. And I just love him. Again, he's a simple guy. He's not about hype and hoopla and all of these different things. So I think that especially in the investment world, you need balanced counsel, and you need someone who is even keeled. Like myself, I'm even keeled. So I resonate with what he does. So when it comes to finances, basically, those are there. Now, I am currently working on my own framework for finances. And so that's a book that I've been, is still in the works. So hopefully it can be out. Well, I can't promise now, but 2022, 2023, latest 2024. But it's been in the works. But it is something where, again, as I learn and master and have studied so many different things about finances, of course, you want to come up with your own that works for you. Another person I would recommend that you follow who has a wonderful framework when it comes to finances is he's a billionaire Michael Lee Chin from Jamaica. Billionaire Michael Lee Chin, another disciplined man when it comes to investment and money, and I do love his strategies as well. But again, these are the ones I use. Michael Lee Chin, I generally, most of what Charles says as well is in that. But I like the simplicity of this. But Michael Lee Chin too, if you listen to him, you're gonna find that he invests based on framework. He built his wealth based on a strategic framework, not by fly by the seam and luck. No, that's not how you win in life. If you're just depending on luck only, well, you'll be waiting for a long time. So let's look at another one now. Let's look at spiritual frameworks. So we talk about, we talk about your physical, we talk about financial, let's do spiritual, and then we will close off on the relational or social. Now, spiritual framework is very important. I'm a man of faith. I'm a minister as well. And so we've done mission work around the world. We've traveled to over 26 different countries, planted many, many churches overseas. And I have been, in addition to being a missionary, I've been pastoring now for about 9 years, been in ministry for over 14 years. And so all of these, for me, I don't compartmentalize my life as many people do. I just feel it's one. But for some people, it helps them. So I say, okay, here's the spiritual, here's the physical, etc. So let's go. Spiritual framework. If you want to grow in your spiritual life, right, you also needs to be strategic. Now, the first framework I have here is called FACTS, right? So FACTS is an acronym that helps me to study the Bible and teach and give studies and help people understand scripture. It is very simple, right? Again, there are many people who will, throw the Greek and Hebrew and all of that in there. There's room for that. But again, I just find this has worked for me for many, many years now. So FACTS now, when I study the scriptures, the Holy Bible, I want to understand it for myself because most people don't read the Bible, and that's why they don't actually experience God's best for them. They're wishing and hoping at best. But you have to read this thing for yourself and understand the principles that God is teaching you, because God is a God of order. Again, framework, a synonym for framework is order, system, process. So God has systems and processes and laws and precepts and principles. And if we don't follow them, you cannot get the outcome, because a promise is a conditional thing. A promise is God, here's your part, here's God's part. If you don't do your part, you can pray all you want. God is not going to supersede his stuff so that you can get an easy pass. No, it doesn't work that way. So FACTS now. So the first letter in FACTS stands for the facts. Exactly. The F is for facts. The who, the what, when, where, why, and how. Basic English comprehension, right? So when you're reading the word of God, you want to ask these questions. Who is speaking? To whom are they speaking? Why are they saying this? What are they saying? How is this thing being done? For example, a simple stuff like have faith. What does that mean? How do we have faith? Why do we need to have faith, etc.? So if I take Hebrews 11, verse number 6, it says, without faith is impossible to please God, for whoever comes to God must believe that he is, and he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. So now from that there I can get, God is instructing me, I personalize the passage, that he wants me to have faith. Why is it important? Because he says, if I don't have faith, I cannot please him. Matter of fact, it is impossible to please him without faith. But on the other side of it, though, when I exercise faith and I please him, it says he rewards me. And if I want the reward, then I must have two things, not only just have faith, but he says I must diligently seek him. So you see, that's how I can develop a principle right there. If I want the favor of God and if I want God to reward me, then I must have faith because he rewards faith. And therefore, I must also diligently seek him. And now we can put other scriptures with that as well. Jeremiah chapter 29, Jeremiah 33, verse 3, he says, if you call unto me, I will answer you and show you great and mighty things which you do not know. James 1:5, if you lack wisdom, ask God, he will give it to you. So if you don't ask, guess what? You don't receive. So these are why you have to have these principles in place. But what about if you do ask and you still don't receive? Well, we understand that. James chapter 4 and James chapter 1, actually, verses 6 through 8 tells us now, when you do ask, here's what you need to do. He says, let him ask in faith. There we go, the word faith again. Let him ask in faith, not wavering, not going here sometimes and there sometime, because he says, whoever wavers that way is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. Let not that person think that they shall receive anything from the Lord. James 1:5. And then verse 8 says, now a double-minded man or woman is unstable in all their ways. They are wishy-washy. So that's another thing. Most people don't receive from God. It's not because God is not willing. We know that God is more than willing. God is true to his word. Numbers chapter 23, verse 19, Titus chapter 1, verse 2 and 3. And then we also have Hebrews 11, verse 18, right? Hebrews 6:18. So when we look at all of these things here, we realize that God is faithful. God cannot lie over and over and over. God cannot lie. So if God makes a promise, if God says this is the thing, then the thing doesn't come to pass. It's not a fault from God. It is a fault from you and it's a fault from me because we have not followed the divine precepts or protocol. That's what the framework is. So application now is, how does this apply to my life, right? How does it apply to the life of the people back then when the instruction was given? So Moses gave the people, for example, some commandments. And so how did it apply to them? Now I look at those precepts and principles. How does it apply to me today? If I'm preaching it, I would say, now, how does it apply to my congregation or my audience, those who are hearing me? How does it apply to them? Based on what I've read and studied, are there any commands? That's what the C is now, commands to obey or promises to claim. So if you are reading a passage like 1 John 1:9, it says, if we confess our sins, God is faithful and just to forgive us and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So if I need forgiveness, then therefore the command is what? I must confess. So that's my part. See, God's part is to do with the forgiving. But what else is he going to do? He says he's going to cleanse me from all unrighteousness. So if I want to be righteous, I come, I repent and confess, and God does the cleansing. At the moment of cleansing, what are you? You are righteous. It's that very simple. Now, let's look at another one, Thanksgiving. Now, after I've read and studied and pour out my heart before God, now I want to thank him. So what am I thankful for in light of what I've read, in light of what I've studied? And then, of course, you turn that into a prayer at the end. I confess any sin because God might have rebuked something. If he says, do not lie, and I'm lying, then guess what? I don't just say, well, God, and start pouring out petitions before God. You see, these are the things that people are doing and don't realize. A lot of our prayers, it's not that God hasn't heard them. It's just that they are forfeited from the get-go. Because Isaiah 51, when you look at Isaiah 59, verses 1, 2, and 3, it talks about, your iniquities have separated between you and your God. It's not that God doesn't hear, but he says, because your hands are filled with blood, etc. And he lists a whole host of sins that the people have in their life. So that's why before I pour out my heart to God in supplication and asking for things, I must make sure that the way is clear. Otherwise, because the word also says, if I regard iniquities or sins and wickedness and evil in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. So you can pray all you want. If there's iniquity in your life, known sins that you have not yet repented of, that is not going anywhere. So therefore, when you say, oh, there's an outcome that I'm not getting, no, you have not yet even met the condition in the first place. So that's like, bringing a false check to the Lord to have him cash it out. It's not going to work. So that's my framework for growing spiritually, for being knowledgeable in the word of God, for teaching, training, and instructing people in the ways of righteousness. Another one is connected. This is a connected framework, is a series of 3 steps. So this is actually the discipleship strategy that I teach at the church. This is a course that we're actually going to be creating as well and writing some Bible studies on there. But connected. So basically here are the 3 simple steps, right? And they all go with C again. So there you go. You see in the pattern. Because I want something that is simple for me, but also simple for people. It must be simple for me, not only the people, because I'm teaching. So if I'm teaching it, I want to be able to remember it easy. So most of those acronyms that went before, they're easy for me to recall. That's how I'm able to espouse them in my life over time and to become part of who I am, right? So connected now. If I connect with Christ on a daily basis, that's the first C. Then I connect with my church or community or congregation in every week. I connect with the community every month. So those are the three basic things. And then there's three simple actions in each of them as well. So if I connect with Christ every day, I must grow. What are three things that I need to do to connect with Christ every day? I pray, I read and study the scriptures, right? And I can also share my faith. That's number three. That should be on there. Then weekly, if I connect weekly with the body of Christ, okay, or the church, then I will be able to grow. I will be held accountable. And not only that, but I am fellowshipping with the body of Christ. I'm having weekly attendance and I'm participating in church activities. If I do those three simple activities, then not only am I being blessed, now I'm being a blessing to others and others are being a blessing to me because I'm part of the body, I'm part of a fellowship. And so therefore now God, when he pours out, because God pours out his spirit upon individuals, but he also pours them out collectively in a corporate setting as well. Then lastly, now, I don't just want to connect vertically, that's upreach with God. I don't just want to connect internally for nurturing, that's inreach. I also must have outreach. So first I take care of the horizontal, this vertical position, then I take care of the horizontal, right? That's like a cross. So I connect first with Christ every day. I connect at least on a weekly basis. It could be in a small group, it could be a church, whatever it may be, but somehow connecting with people of like-minded faith. And so you do those things, you will also grow and develop. Plus, you will discover what your spiritual gifts are in that setting because God has gifted each and every one of us. And we must minister that within the body of Christ also. Then we connect with connect with the community. Every month, we should at least be connecting locally and globally, with the mission, because again, this is the heart of God's work, right? The Great Commission is to go into all the world, not just go into your world, go into your neighborhood, go into your community. That's a big problem sometimes of many Western churches. They are so focused on themselves, focused on their neighborhood only. Now you got to do that now. Don't try to say you are winning the world, but you're not doing anything in your local community. That's not what I'm saying either. But equally true is also you don't be so only engrossed in your community, because in most churches, especially in America, you can have 10 churches on one block. I mean, there's some places I know, especially where we are in Texas, man, Dallas and Houston, etc., even San Antonio, man, you can have sometimes 6 churches on a long street. And sometimes they're all different denominations, right? It's just crazy. This is crazy stuff we got going on. I'm not meddling, but it just shows you that, again, the Bible says the gospel must be preached in all the world for witness. And Matthew 24, verse 14, it says, when the gospel is preached in all the world, then is when the end will come. So many people are praying, Jesus comes, and they're not doing anything. Jesus is not going to come until the whole world has an opportunity to hear his word. So that's another thing. That's what I'm saying is when people preach all this stuff about Jesus coming, I say, okay, no problem. It's good. I preach on Jesus coming. But I do know if we don't tell people about the love of God and we minister to in a global setting, he's not coming still. He's not coming. Why? Because it's conditional. The condition is, he says, go into all the world and preach the gospel to every single creature. Then he also says again in Matthew 24:14, he said, this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for witness, and then the end shall come. So until that happens, we're going to be here a long time. So how can you support foreign work, foreign missions? You can do it by, financing overseas projects and overseas missions, going on mission trips. That's what I love to do. Church planting. You can sponsor orphans and widows and different things like that, the poor. All of these are good things that you can do to become part of the bigger mission beyond your community, beyond your own space. And it's so actually cost effective to even do that. You and your family, you don't need your church to ordain you and to empower you or even give you permission to do that stuff. Anybody can do that. There's so many ministries that are doing it. You can partner with them. Like one ministry called Maranatha International from California. They do what they call one-day churches. They can actually build a church in one day, build a school in one day, and I think they have a one-day hospital as well. So, for example, to plant a church, like I think when we went to our mission trip to Mozambique in 2008, was it 2008, 2009? We were able to plant build 5 churches in 5 different areas, right? And it only costs $1,500 to put up that structure. They prefabricate them from the US and ship them to different parts of the world, and so different things like that. But again, that's a project that a family can do together. Think of the close knit thing that you can get when your family does something like that. Okay, so I want to ask you today, what framework do you have that can help you to grow? How can you grow spiritually by putting a success framework for your spiritual life? So again, I recommend 2. I recommend facts, and I recommend connected discipleship strategy. It will help you as an individual to grow, to be a blessing to your family, yourself, your faith-based community, and the world, right? So we're connected with Christ, Upreach. We're connected with our church community, our congregation, InReach, and then we also do Outreach, which is connecting with the greater world out there. Alrighty, so let's look at the last framework that we can use in another area of our life. We're going to talk about now relationships, marriages and relationships. This too is going to be a book that I'm working on. And so I'm letting you know right now, okay? So these are some of the things I'm using. So I'm not giving you pie in the sky. This framework I have been using for many years now. Matter of fact, it is what I use generally when I do premarital counseling and even marriage counseling. And normally when I do the homily at the weddings, I would remind the couple by preaching, a short message, summarizing what we've done in the past couple of weeks. So generally I do between 8 to 12 weeks of premarital counseling. And so this is what I go through with the couple. So let's look at it here. So it's called trust or truth, right? It's 5 strategies or 5 pillars of lasting relationship. That's my framework. So it is broken down generally in this way. The T is for trust. How can we build and maintain trust in the relationship? So we spend a week or 2 on that. Then R is for responsibility. Couples must learn responsibility. If they are Christians, if they are faith-based people, they are first responsible to God, then to themselves and to each other. Notice I'm the setting now, because sometimes we say you got to be responsible to the other person first. No, I think your first allegiance, again, we take care of that. I must take care of my responsibility with God, Upreach, similar to connected discipleship. You see, you notice that. Then within myself, that's InReach, me and God, within myself, I have to be accountable to me, to my values, to my principles, to my belief, right? I must be accountable to that, to my goals, to the things that I say I'm going to do, to the vows that I said that when we say I do, I need to be accountable to them. Then I must be responsible to the other party, right? My wife in this case. So, but this also functions in relationships. So you are responsible to your boss. If your boss is hiring you, you are in a relationship with your employer. Anybody you come in contact with. So for strong social ties and friendships, these are things that we need to be able to do. So responsibility to each other, responsibility to your children, and again we put etc. because that would mean your friend, your boss, whomever, or whatever the relationship may be. Then unity, right? We know the devil seeks to divide a happy home, divide a business, divide a ministry, etc. So it is a principle that we find in the Word of God. Can 2 walk together except they be agreed? Right? And the answer is simply no. Matter of fact, in Genesis 11, even when God came down and saw the wickedness of the people, they were trying to build this tower to heaven, right? We call it Tower of Babel. But he gave a positive comment to those people. He actually said, look at the unity that these people have. They have a common vision, they have a common language, and nothing shall be impossible for them. That's a principle. We look at it in the negative. No, that's a principle that works in the positive as well. He is also commending them for a good work. Not a good work. The work, the goal was wrong, but the way they were going about it was actually based on biblical principles. Unity, the power of unity, right? Behold how good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together in unity. When we are united, it is harder to become divided. Okay, and so you also have this principle again in the book of Ecclesiastes. It talks about, when one falls, woe to him because he's by himself. But it says a 2-fold cord is not easily broken, much less a 3-fold, right? So it means not just, 2 or 3, but it means the more, the better. So, marriage, of course, you start with the the two individuals, and then you add their children, and then that unit, that family becomes a close-knit ties. But then now each family that joins themselves to other families as friends, etc., and that's how we have a society. So unity is very important. Can you be united? And those you cannot be united with, you can maintain friendship or acquaintances, but you don't want to be united with people who don't share your vision and so forth and beliefs, etc., because that's not being able to work together. But because we are in a world, for example, in the workplace, they see that's the difference. I need to understand that now. What unites us in the workplace is our common vision and mission of the company, right? So if I am at work, I'm united with the people there because we are trying to accomplish something together. But I'm not going to go to where they're going outside the workplace and do the things they're doing outside the workplace. Why? Because we are not united in that aspect. So it doesn't mean because you're not united in everything that you can't unite with people. No, you can unite with people for certain things, certain activities. Because again, everyone don't believe what you believe. Like for example, I teach this stuff. My principles and strategies and frameworks for strategic secrets, monetize the skills, book to business, blueprint, all of these things, anyone can use them. And I don't agree with everybody on the way they use them, but it is available to everyone, right? So that's what I'm saying is, so we can be united on these are some ways that anyone can take, monetize their skills. But the way you are doing it, I probably would not be down with how you are doing that or what you are doing. I don't have to, but it doesn't mean I can't share my wisdom and knowledge with you, because this works no matter what. Actually, even if people want to do evil, they can use these principles and do evil with them, right? That's the power of principles. That's why I do like the ideas of utilizing strategies and principles that works. Now, stewardship. As a couple in relationship, we must be good managers of our resources, of our finances, in this case, our health in the couple. They must be good stewards of each other, their talents, their intellect, all of these things, their abilities. They must be able to grow, right? Because some couples grow apart too. So some people are advancing and the other might not be. So that's why we say we have to work together. And then last one is T for truth, which is be true to each other, be true to yourself, be true to your God, and always tell the truth. Matter of fact, this ties right back into the first one, because if you are not telling the truth, it's going to break down the trust, and they also erode your unity. So we must be careful of that. So always tell the truth. Be true to you. Be true to your God, be true to each other. That's my framework for having a successful relationship, whether it's marriage or social relationship as friends, in the workplace, in business, ministry, etc. Voila. So those are all that I have for today. I hope that that was helpful to you. Again, stop asking for permission to succeed. Be you. God has already equipped you and empowered you to be able to do certain things in life. Don't waste your life. Become what you know you want to become, even right now. So thanks for joining us. We will be able to see you on next week. Let me go back on screen here. So there you go. That's the training for today, right? So you see, we learned something. This is going to be the 4th of July weekend. Matter of fact, it's like 2 days, because 4th of July is now on Sunday. And so it's going to be Sunday and Monday that folks get off. So enjoy the long weekend. And friends, may God richly bless each and every one of you. I do want to encourage you. Last week, if you missed it, let me see if I can do a screen share here. Last week, if you missed it, I revealed to you that we actually were able to release a new product, a physical product. Let's see here. Oops. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we released a new product, and that is, we have a new sneaker, we have 3 shoes that we created already. And so I would love you to go to aliveshoes.com/strategic secrets and purchase one of our exclusive limited edition just for our community. This is a shoe that helps to unite us and galvanize us as professionals, entrepreneurs, lifelong learners, success-minded individuals. So again, this is limited. You cannot get this anywhere. This is handmade already. So let me scroll down here. This is handmade, meaning that when you order it is when they will make it and they will ship it for you for free from Italy. Okay, so I'm getting each of these handmade with quality material just for you and I to be able to say, this is what we represent. This shoe represent class, uniqueness. It represents those who are on a higher walk of success in their life. So there we go. This again, Strategic Secret is a protected design and limited edition product. You can only find the very limited quantities here in this shop. When purchasing one of the few that is available, here's what you're also going to get. You will get an official limited edition certificate with the unique code. So you are going to have a one of a kind. So family, this is the first design I want you to see. I'm going to reveal, of course, the other two. But again, please go ahead and get this shoe. Here's the other one. So we have this one. I noticed they're based on the logo. Let's see if you missed some of that here. Well, we show it to you on the other side. But again, very, very well done. You know, this is our logo. Our logo is based on red, blue, yellow, white. So let's see. Let's flip through here. Doesn't that look cute? I personally designed these shoes, chose the colors, chose the layout and every single thing. And of course, voila, on the town there is yours truly. We have a caricature made, but the bow tie is even, suggesting that even though we're wearing sneakers, right, it is a class thing. It's a classic wear. And the book there, Strategic Secrets, by the way, if you don't have a book yet, make sure you get one. Go to strategicsecrets.com. But to order these shoes, you have to go specifically here. Let me put it in. I'll put them in the chat when I'm finished here. But let me show you the other one. So the first one here is primarily accentuating the red, right? The boldness, the blood, sweat, and tears sometimes that we got to go through in realizing our dreams. Now, let's look at the blue now, right? This one more accentuates the blue in the logo. Similar colors again, though. Not a limited edition, right? So when you buy this again, there's no one else that's going to do. You know, when you go to a store, sometimes you go to church or certain places, you think you stand out, but then you have 2 or 3, 4, 5 people wearing the same shoe that you're wearing. No, this one is, by the way, if you wait long enough, there you go, you can get a discount. And so it gives you a little coupon code to do so. So here we go again. Look at this. Man. Voila. Voila. All right. Okay. Handcrafted again in Italy. Custom design. Unique limited edition. So even this version as well is a protected design, a limited product. When you do order, you get an official certificate showing that you have a limited edition version of this shoes. So again, go to aliveshoes.com/strategic-secrets1 for this one. But either one, once you go to aliveshoes.com/strategic-secrets, then you will be able to scroll to the bottom and see the other shoe as well. Then my son also designed this one right here. This is unique. This is a green. This is more like a dinosaur kind of a feel, right? So his motto here is about being ourselves. Nobody can do it better. So that's kind of what we want here. So Dino Mari is an interesting, right? Because again, he loved dinosaur and his second name is Omari. So we have the combination of Dino Mari, and that's really what it is. So if you go in his bedroom right now, you see dinosaur everywhere. His bedspread is dinosaurs and whatnot. So he designed this. We just gave him the software, and he designed this shoe himself. He's 7 years old. So support him. Okay, go to aliveshoes.com/Dino Mari, DINOMARI. Okay. So let's look at this one here. And the town says, be yourself. Nobody can do it better. Awesome. So again, you don't have to pay for shipping and handling or anything like that. It is custom made, sent to you already. And there we go. So these ones will be down here. So I'm going to put these in the chat for you. Okay. So again, that's one way you can represent the community. And again, this is showing you what we do. You do the same. Okay. Because we teach here how to monetize your skills. And so we are showing you many different ways we do it. So again, we are now, yeah, most of the, we love the digital because again, digital is easy to replicate, etc. But even physical products, you can do the same. So we have books, we have courses, right? We have a coaching program, consulting program, we do marketing. Now we are adding another thing here. We have now shoes, clothing, right? We want to add some things on there. So ladies, we are actually have one in the works. We're trying to release that as well. So it's going to be similar to the colors that we have here, but of course it's going to be ladies stuff with heels. Okay. Alrighty. So family, thank you so much for being with us. Let me stop the screen share there. Voila. And put in the chat those two links. You want to check them out. So if you want to check on the bottom here, and you will be able to go to those. Okay, so voila. Good evening, everybody. Take care. Again, enjoy the weekend. Remember, use frameworks to help you to shortcut your way to success. Use frameworks to strategically make your life easier, simpler, and more effective. Use frameworks that work for you, ones that you can embrace. Use frameworks so you're not hopping from one thing to the next. Use frameworks because they're principles that work and they give certain outcomes and results. Alrighty, God bless you. Take care. We see you on next week. Bye-bye.